The judges have declared a winner, and I'm pleased to announce the 2025 winner of the First Pitch competition is...
Hey, this is Jesse here, and you're about to hear the First Pitch episode recorded live on location at SBC Americas in Fort Lauderdale. In this one, we sat down with 5 startup founders that were named as finalists in SBC's annual First Pitch competition and got their state of mind just 2 hours before pitching live for the $100,000 prize package. And right after the competition wrapped up, we invited the winner back on to discuss the event and the pitching experience. I was pumped to be back as host for the First Pitch competition, and it was super fun to spend time with all 5 finalists on the day itself, which is always a highlight of the SBC Americas event. Optimove is the #1 player engagement platform, and Optimove Ignite Plus is its program to support early-stage iGaming startups. If you're attending the Canadian Gaming Summit in Toronto on June 17th to 19th, come visit the Optimove stand to learn more about how Optimove Ignite Plus can accelerate your startup's marketing efforts. You can find Optimove at stand A242 and tell them that Betting Startup sent you to receive your first month free.
All right, we are back here at SBC Americas, and we are here on the morning of the First Pitch competition, a couple hours before it kicks off. And I thought it'd be cool to have the 5 finalists swing by the Betting Startup stand here to do a bit of a pulse check on how you're feeling and how you're doing before the big ceremony start in about 2 hours from now. So joining me first, I have Oliver from PromptBet.ai. Good morning, Oliver. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm excellent. Looking really forward to kicking it off.
All right. So look, we're about 2 hours away from the pitch. How are you feeling this morning? What's your state like right now?
I'm really great. Did my last rehearsal in the morning.
Okay.
So now we're ready. Just waiting to kick it off.
Good stuff. Well, let's give the audience a bit of a preview of the pitch that you're going to be delivering to the judges this afternoon. Give us a bit of a high concept overview of what is PromptBet.ai.
Wonderful. So PromptBet is a B2B SaaS gaming startup. We've built a personal AI assistant that can be easily integrated in any sportsbook or iGaming platform. It's basically a one-stop shop solution for search, discovery, recommendations, statistics, customer support, everything. A personal concierge that sits with you and is ready for you.
Okay. And where are you at in the journey? How long ago did you start it? And then what sort of traction do you have so far?
Product is live for close to a year now. We actually have the largest Italian operator, sports betting and iGaming, and they're operating the product. They're really happy about it. We've recently launched another operator in Central Europe, and we're now looking to go into the US.
All right. And how have the conversations been so far with the US-based operators? Are you getting some good feedback and interest?
Yeah, it's actually really exciting. So the industry as a whole develops in this space. There are other companies that are offering similar products. We feel like we have a little bit of a head start and want to keep it.
Awesome. And let's talk about your preparation for the pitch. What does it look like for you? What did you do to get ready for this? And I think you get 3 minutes up on the stage, which goes very fast, right? So what did you do to get yourself ready for this?
So in fact, the 3 minutes forces us to really cut it down to the most essential pieces. We do have quite a large chunk of a simulation, like a demo, to really give the audience a feeling of what we're doing. And we've worked on it for a couple of days. I'm pretty confident that it will be well received.
Right on, Oliver. Well, look, I'll leave you to it to go wander around and, clear your head before the pitch this afternoon. Really appreciate you swinging by this morning and wishing you all the best with the presentation this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I also wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it, my friend. All right, we're keeping things rolling here. We have another finalist at the First Pitch competition beside me. I have Mark from Staked.ai, and the audience, Mark, will be very familiar with you because you were on the pod just a few episodes ago. But just in case somebody might have missed it, give us a quick high-level overview and maybe a bit of a preview of your pitch for the audience here.
Sure. Yeah, we are a voice AI platform tailor-made for the sports industry. So marketers at operators, affiliates, and media publishers use our tech to automate the creation of short-form podcasts. So think TikTok-style content, but in an audio format. And the idea is to use AI to create it on such a massive scale that you can actually personalize the audio content to each user.
Like what your preparation's going into today. I mean, you get 3 minutes up on that stage, 180 seconds, go very quickly, not a lot of margin for error. How are you feeling going into this, and what do the preparations look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm going to be the person on stage, but there's a team of people behind me that have helped me get ready and deliver the results that earned us this spot and have given me something that I'm pretty proud to talk about. So got a great team, my co-founder, Chris Shreve, my CMO, Christiana Yebra, and our team of advisors and investors all I gave feedback on a couple of iterations. The hardest part is whittling it down.
Yeah.
Right. As a founder, you love what you're doing. You could talk for hours and you get 180 seconds. So iron sharpens iron.
Nice one. Shout out, Chris. Shout out, CY. And how's the show been for you, right? I mean, you guys have been creating a lot of buzz. Obviously, what you built is very compelling. As you alluded to, a lot of very relevant use cases within the context of real money gaming. Just how have the conversations been over the last 2 days for you?
Yeah. I mean, I've been saving my voice for my 180 seconds on stage. So I've been...
You and me both.
I get too excited, and then by the end of these things, I lose my voice. So Chris has been running the show on the floor, and we've got some great conversations with some potential clients. I got a couple of verbal commitments to continue growing our early paid client base in this sort of closed beta program that we're in right now. Got some connections with some bigger fish that'll take longer to close, operators, 18-month timeline, but starting those conversations in parallel with founders of startups who can move a bit faster.
Awesome, Mark. And as I said, you were on the podcast not that long ago, but what does the next little while look like for Stake.ai after SBC Americas wraps up here?
I'll be honest, well, it was March that we were on there in New York, and at that time, I was raising like a small round. The overwhelming inbound interest that we've gotten from teams, leagues, operators that we didn't dream about talking with until next year has made us think a little bit more aggressively about the capital raise.
Yep.
So that's been my focus the past couple of days, connecting with investors about larger checks so that we can capitalize on this moment and pioneer this new frontier of voice AI and vertical AI for the sports and sports betting sector.
Awesome, Mark. Well, look, a lot of momentum behind you guys right now. No doubt that will continue to be the case, and wishing you all the best this afternoon and, of course, beyond as you guys go forward with everything you're doing, and look forward to continue to follow in the Stake.ai story.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we're still sitting here talking to the startups that are pitching this afternoon at the first pitch competition here at SBC Americas, and joining me now, I have Andrew from Gamewagrs. Andrew, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. We're excited to be here.
Awesome. So look, we're about 2 hours out from the big pitch. How you feeling? How are the nerves? What's the mindset? Give us a bit of insight into how you're feeling right now.
No real nerves. I think we prepared great, and I have my partner here, Nico, and we're ready to go. So,
and both of you guys are pitching up on stage, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
So tell me a bit about the preparations that go into that, because you get 3 minutes up there, 180 seconds, not a lot of margin for error, not to stress you out here, but with two of you, there's another layer of, I guess, complexity to preparing the pitch. So tell me a little bit about the preparations that went into this.
Yeah, I think together we achieve more is one of our sayings. So we just practiced together at each other's houses, timed each other. We had a prominent businessman come and listen to our speech and give us some pointers. We've reviewed it with other people and just tried to nail it down as best we can. And yeah, just did plenty of prep, really. I think being prepared is the best way to get the best results. So
you're dialed in, ready to go.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's give the audience a little bit of an insight into your pitch here. Give us a quick high-level overview of what is Gamewagrs.
So what we've made is an application that allows for esports parlays. So a user can come on and say, I can score 5 goals in my next game or win 3 games in a row. They put up money like a classic parlay. If they're able to achieve that, well, they get 100% of their funds back. And then if they're not, we keep their funds. And we also have a system of 1v1 wagers. So if I was to, challenge you to a 1v1 game of any video game out there, and you put up money into an escrow account, I put money into an escrow account, we take a small fee, and the winner takes it home. So,
and is this classified as a game of skill? Give us a bit of insight into sort of how the structural mechanics of the product work from a regulatory perspective.
Yeah, correct. We are a game of skill, right? So we provide no odds, no RNG, nothing like that. We believe that, if you can put up the money and you can achieve that, then you should walk away with that. So.
Awesome. And give us a bit more insight into just the company's journey that you've been on. When did you guys start? Sort of what type of traction are you seeing? Give a bit of context there for us.
Yeah, it's been great. We really kind of started building in 2022. In 2023, we launched a beta. And since then, we've been getting users on and getting them involved on the platform. Right now, we have about 226 users. We've done that just through live streams on TikTok with my CMO, where we challenge people live on stream to challenge us. We showcase the product, and that's pretty much all we've done at this point. And then we got here at SBC.
All right. And how's the show been for you overall? We're on day 2 here. How was day 1? And yeah, give us a bit of a...
It's been great. Yeah. Honestly, we've had a great reception. Everybody we've met with some big players in the industry just to kind of talk to them about what we're doing. We do have something completely different than what's being offered, right? We're not a sports book. We don't provide data. We really want to see what people can do out there. We think DraftKings and PrizePicks, they allowed sports fans to monetize their sports knowledge. We're trying to do the same thing for the everyday gamer who plays games all day, maybe they don't want to live stream, right? That's expensive. They don't want to go pro, but they're good enough to make some money if they can. And we want to provide them that option. So it adds an engagement for them.
Absolutely. So you and your team are based in Utah. We're going to talk hockey for a hot second here, Andrew, before I let you go. Your team recently finally got a name. You're the Mammoth. How do you feel about that name?
You know what? It's pretty good. And I don't make the decision, so I'll just live with it, I guess. But, the games are fun. And, yeah, we really love to see the growth in Utah. I mean, it's going everywhere. We're getting a baseball team and everything. So it's been fun. And we want to help out, we want to be part of that growth as well.
Absolutely. Well, look, wishing you and your co-founder all the best up on stage in a couple of hours. And, we'll keep in touch and wishing you all the best going forward here.
Thank you.
All right, we are continuing the parade of finalists that will be pitching in a couple of hours at the first pitch competition. Beside me now is Kelson from Wager Games. How you doing, my friend?
Dude, very good. Good to see you.
Always good to see you. So look, you're going to be up on stage in a couple of hours pitching the Wager Games opportunity to the panel of judges. How are you feeling right now? What's your mindset? Give us a bit of insight.
Good. I'm trying to get locked in, get my Steve Jobs turtleneck on, but no, it's good. I'm excited. I always love this conference. Always great seeing, friends and bringing the community together. So really excited to present. Yeah.
Awesome. What's your preparation look like going into this? How many reps have you done in front of the mirror? Like, what's it look like for you?
Yeah, a couple in the mirror, I think many over the past 6 months, right? So it looks very similar to kind of a mix of our sales materials and kind of what we tell, our investors and even prospective investors. So it's a combination of all those decks coming together. So done those quite a number of times, I would say.
I mean, you were on the podcast with me, I don't know when, I'll say close to a year ago, maybe a year ago now. Yeah. So some people will be familiar with Wager Games, but just give us a quick overview, give us a quick version of the pitch right now for the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, everyone sees it. I think the world's changing. It's turning to a content experience. It's how we digest our information. That's how, the best apps, the apps that we use every day, they're all video-based, all content-based. And we think the rest of the internet, Web 4, if you will, after Web 3 might be a very content-based experience. And we want to bring that to sports betting. Sports betting is such a rich amount of content. iGaming is such a rich amount of content that we love. And we think that should be on the platform. So our mission at Wager Games is kind of bring the Web 4 of content to the world and making it easy for operators, for clients to bring content into their apps.
Love it. It's been a busy couple months for you guys. You had a number of milestones, least of which you were named as a finalist for Startup of the Year at the illustrious Starties in March.
Yes.
And
number one award, that I've always wanted. So we'll have to go for next year.
That's it. Next year, let's go. You also recently announced a huge partnership with Kambi.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Kambi, they serve 50 plus sports books globally. We signed a partnership with them to be kind of the social infrastructure partner for all their sports books globally. So we'll be serving, kind of being that social plugin for all of those sports books globally. So we're really excited about that and really excited to, help those operators bring content, engage their users, retain their users, and just create a better sports betting experience. So
good stuff, Kelson. Well, look, excited for you today. Wishing you all the best, and we'll see you up on stage in a short couple hours from now.
Right. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, we are here with the 5th finalist at today's first pitch competition here at SBC Americas in Fort Lauderdale. I'm joined by Madhav from Sidebetz.ai. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So look, we are about 2 hours away from the first pitch competition. How are you feeling right now? Where's the mindset? How are the nerves, if you have any? Give us a bit of insight to how you're feeling.
A little bit nervous because the last presentation that I gave was when I was doing my engineering.
Okay.
It was a final year project, and I think it's been over 30 years.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous.
All very normal.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your preparations for today. What have you done to prepare for this? And give us a bit of insight into that.
Well, the beauty of this is, it's always easy to talk about what you do because you're doing it because of your passion. And it's easy to talk about that. The key part is going with the flow. And I'm somebody who's very impromptu, If you put a deck on the screen and ask me to talk to the deck, that's what makes me nervous. If you ask me to stand and talk, I can be very comfortable with that. So that's the reason I'm a little bit anxious in this.
Okay, fair enough. Sidebetz.ai, what is it? Give the audience a little bit of a preview of the pitch you're going to be delivering today and a bit of insight into what you're building.
Sure. So this idea came to me about 12 years ago. I was watching a Shooting Star event where Daniel Negreanu, Ivy, and all those guys were playing. And I'm just standing, I went to play poker. I was just standing there twiddling my thumbs. And I'm like, you know what? I should be able to engage in what these guys are doing. Daniel Negreanu comes out. I say, huge fan of yours. I want a selfie. He says, sure. While taking a selfie, I says, Daniel, I want to build a platform that lets viewers who are watching the game engage in the game by placing bets on the players on who will win the hand. And the selfie is literally, I'm looking at the camera, he's looking at me, says, it's a brilliant idea. But now is not the time.
Yeah.
Fast forward 12 years, I was watching Hustler Casino live. I saw 8,000 people watching the game on YouTube. And I'm like, you know what? This is the time to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how the journey started. What Sidebetz basically does is, poker viewership and streaming has gone up exponentially in the last 4 to 5 years. And there is no way for people watching the game to engage in any way, form, or manner in what's going on. So what Sidebetz does is we've built a platform which, when viewers are watching the stream live, they can place bets on the poker players as the game progresses. We give odds on all the players, and the odds keep changing real time as the action goes by. And they are actually selecting a player who will win the hand.
Okay.
Very cool concept. So are you planning to find Daniel Negreanu again and get another selfie with him and tell him you actually built this here 12 years later?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a bit out of the camera view right now, but you guys actually have a stand right beside ours right now. You're our neighbor here at SBC Americas. How's the show been for you, and what level of interest have you had from people walking up to ask about side bets?
We've had tremendous interest, actually. When we came here, we saw our booth. We were like, you know what? I don't think we're going to get any attention here. But people walking to the startup zone, because startup zone is a zone where there is innovation happening, and got a lot of interest from operators, investors. That is one of our, thing. We want to raise money actively right now. And it's been really good for us.
That's great. Well, look, I'll let you get back to your preparations here and wishing you a lot of luck this afternoon. Look forward to hearing the presentation and look forward to continuing to follow your story. It's been great to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time.
The judges have declared a winner, and I'm pleased to announce the 2025 winner of the First Pitch competition is Wager Games. Kelson, come on up. All right, so we just heard the winner was announced, and the 2025 First Pitch winner, Kelson from Wager Games. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
How you feeling here? We're sitting here like, what has it been, like a half an hour maybe since the winner was announced? You've been wandering around, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah. Red shoes come up, a little down. Yeah.
We hoisted you on the shoulders, paraded you around for a while.
Yeah.
Popped a couple of bottles.
Yeah. And by bottles, you mean some water bottles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta hydrate.
That's all we got. That's all we got right now.
How does it feel though, man?
It's great.
Yeah. I mean, you seem pretty calm and relaxed this morning when we talked to you earlier in this episode.
Yeah.
So, you were dialed in, and I think that was reflected up on stage there today.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been good. Obviously this pitch I've done many times to, our partners, our investors, and things like that. So, I mean, it's a story we believe in, right? So it's kind of easier, to tell the story and to present when this is something you care about, something you believe in. But yeah, dude, I think such an honor to be chosen. I think also just be an honor on stage. I think really happy to see the community come together for something like this.
Absolutely. And no joke, the other 4 competitors up there were awesome, right? They all delivered great presentations. They're all building something unique and innovative in their own way and getting great traction. And 100%. I'm glad I wasn't a judge. It must have been a tough decision for them. I actually had to go. We gave the judges 5 minutes after to confer and arrive at a decision. 5 minutes came and went. I gave them a couple more minutes. I finally had to go over and say, guys, we got to get on with the show here. They really had a hard time because all of the presentations were so good.
100%. I mean, I was shocked, I think, when you called our names. No, that's to be completely honest. I think all of the startups, are building something so cool. There's a lot of great AI technology coming out. And so they're just on the precipice with this new technology that is just, it's the first time we've ever seen stuff like this. So I was pretty surprised and obviously, honored to be declared. So.
One observation I made, I kind of want to get your perspective on this. I didn't quite connect the dots in the moment, but since it ended about a half an hour ago, I did reflect on the fact that out of the 5 finalists, 2 of you, yourselves at Wager Games and Stake.ai, both of you had gone through a cohort at Zero Labs.
Yes.
And I do wonder because, Mark at Stake.ai delivered a fantastic pitch as well. And it struck me that the experience you guys maybe got through that cohort and over those 3 days might have helped you really refine the narrative, the messaging, and just develop the confidence to tell your story in that type of, sort of high stress, intense environment. Do you think there's any truth to that? Do you think that experience through Zero Labs sort of helped prepare you for this moment?
Zero Labs was amazing.
Yeah.
You take a weekend out of your time to sit down with your co-founders and figure out what that story is, what it looks like. And the best part about Zero Labs is it's an accelerator. There's millions of accelerators, but this is the one for gaming.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want feedback from gaming experts, right? I think for us, we're B2B. There was someone that was, a chief product officer of a sports book, right? And so I can bounce ideas, get feedback on, hey, does this work? Does this not work? How does this business model? How do you feel about this delivery, right? And so getting those tenets on what our business should actually look like in this industry, super, super helpful. Definitely recommend Zero Labs. I think anyone in the gaming industry, to go through an accelerator, it's definitely Zero Labs.
Well, I did talk to Quentin from Zero Labs after the pitch. He was one of the judges up on stage there today. He did mention, and he's not paying me to say this, but I will plug it. They just announced their 5th cohort's opening up applications. I think it's in July. And he said the July cohort will be focusing specifically on sports betting. So again, I think to your point, Kelson, for other startups, I think they might be a good fit or candidate for Zero Labs. They should absolutely consider it because clearly it's benefited you, benefited Market.ai, and all of the other companies that went through it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it, Zero Labs, and I would also highly recommend anyone that wants to build in the space to do it. I think you see this a lot, which is there's so much new energy, I think, in this space, and it's so fun. I mean, all the entrepreneurs, all the community, everyone's really close and just really nice, and it's just the best. I think it's one of the best industries that you could be in, so.
One final thing I want to ask you a bit about, and I actually know this about your guys' story, but in the pitch, you did allude to the fact that initially Wager Games was a B2C product, and so that was the original go-to-market thinking. Yeah. Obviously, you've since evolved and I guess pivoted into B2B and getting really promising traction now as a B2B business, but what are your reflections on going to market as B2C? Because look, I talked to a lot of B2C startups, and a lot of them also eventually find their way into B2B. I guess, so what are your reflections on B2C versus B2B and sort of the challenges and opportunities within each?
Yeah, I think we looked into it, right? Just staying really flexible in our thinking, how we want to build, what we want to build. Is this the right thing? Should we build something else? But I think also this is my 2nd or 3rd company. And I think for me, really asking myself, what are the things that I like to do? I think one of the things I really like to do is develop relationships and work with our clients. That's something that I actually really, really enjoy about our business. So almost a feel of hey, what's the traction like? And then what's the actual work that you want to do and the things that you want to, work on, right? I think all businesses have tough problems, right? And so it just depends on what problems you want to do. And for me, I love working with our clients. I love spending time with them, trying to solve hard problems. And so for me, B2B fits our company as well as the things that people actually want, right? And what the market needs, so.
All right, man. So you got the W. You won a $100,000 plus prize package, which includes a bunch of stuff, which is really going to give you guys.
I was hoping to get one of big checks,
The Price is Right style.
Yeah.
The show's about to wrap up here for the week. What are you going to do tonight to celebrate the W?
Dude, I just hang out with all of our industry friends. You know, I think already I'm trying to figure out where's everyone grabbing drinks and hanging out. And
I think we're heading to the Hard Rock later, aren't we?
Hard Rock it is.
The Betting Startups podcast is presented by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. 4 out of the top 5 US operators personalize player experiences with Optimove. Learn more about Optimove by requesting a demo at optimove.com/bettingstartups. And if you like what you see, you'll get your first month free.